Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another FPL video, and we are back with another episode of rating your FPL drafts. And the first team we're going to be looking at is from the main man himself, KSI. He posted a picture of his first draft on Twitter, so I thought, you know what, I might as well give it a rating in this video. So this is his team, and the first thing you can notice straight away is that he's got Haaland and Mohamed Salah in the same draft together. Now, I'm not really sure if I would go for Haaland and Salah in the same draft myself. I feel like when you go for these two in the same team, you just have to make too many sacrifices to your team. But I want to start off talking about the attack first, and one thing I do want to say is that I actually really do like this front three.
That's pretty good.
He's of course got Haaland in there, who we know is a proven goal scorer in the Premier League, and then he's partnered up Haaland with Alexander Isak and Chris Wood, who I really do like. I think both Isak and Chris Wood have great fixtures to start the season, and in my opinion, Alexander Isak, he's absolutely essential, man. I think the fixtures are great, and we know Alexander Isak is a player that can score plenty of goals. And then for Nottingham Forest, they really do have great fixtures to start the season. I think Chris Wood can score goals. He's proven that as well during his time in the Premier League. So I really do like that front three, and I think if I was going to pick a team with Haaland in there, that's probably the front three that I would go for. I mean, Isak's going to be in my draft regardless. I mean, he is definitely the one. He's the one player that's been in every single draft of mine so far, and I really do like Chris Wood as well because of the fixtures. So yeah, man, I'm a big fan of that front three. I actually think KSI's done well there. Now onto the midfield, he's got Szoboszlai, Leon Bailey, and Nkunku and Salah. Now I want to speak about Szoboszlai for a second because I think this is a really good potential pick here. It's a shrewd pick. I think Onslaught has made it clear that Szoboszlai will be playing in that number 10 position in a 4-2-3-1 system. So if he's playing directly behind the striker at 6.5 million in that Liverpool team with the fixtures that they have, I think Szoboszlai could be a really good pick. So I do like that a lot, and I'm definitely going to pay close attention to Liverpool in pre-season to see if Szoboszlai is consistently playing in that 10 position, because if he is, I think he is definitely someone that I am going to consider for my game week 1 team, because he gives you that Liverpool coverage if you think that Salah's too expensive. So yeah, Szoboszlai is definitely ones to watch. I think there's some great potential there, and obviously he's got the set piece threat as well. Yes, I know that Trent Alexander-Arnold does take set pieces sometimes, but you know, Szoboszlai definitely will take some set pieces every now and then. Leon Bailey as well, I feel like he's going a little bit under the radar, man. I think Aston Villa has some great fixtures. There's rumours going around that Moussa Diaby could potentially be leaving and going off to Saudi, and if that is the case, that pretty much makes Leon Bailey a nailed-on starter. So yeah, man, I think there's some great potential there. I think at 6.5 million, Leon Bailey is a very good value. We know that he can score goals, get assists. He showcased that last season. I think he got 10 goals, 11 assists. So yeah, I really do like Leon Bailey as an option. He really is top class. I think Nkunku's a very nice pick at 6.5 million. I mean, I don't doubt that he's a quality player. He definitely can get goals and assists, but the biggest question is, can he stay fit? Can he get those consistent minutes? Can he get those consistent starts? Because if he can, then at 6.5 million, he's an absolute steal. So yeah, I do like that pick, and there's been some good talk around Nkunku by Enzo Maresca, the Chelsea manager. You know, he's been saying that Nkunku's versatile, he can play anywhere across the front three. So yeah, man, things are looking good for Nkunku. Hopefully he can just stay injury free, and if he does at 6.5 million, he's an absolute steal. So yeah, I do like that pick. And then of course he's gone for Mohamed Salah in midfield. Now I do like him as an option. The fixtures are good for Liverpool, I can't deny that, and we know that Mohamed Salah is a player that can score goals, but I feel like there's certain combinations that you can improve by getting rid of Salah. For example, you've got Dan Burn in defence, who I really don't like as an option, because Newcastle have got a lot of away fixtures in their opening games, and yeah, last season away from home, Newcastle were shocking defensively. They didn't really keep any clean sheets, so that's why I'm not really the biggest fan of Dan Burn. From a defensive point of view, from a clean sheet perspective, I don't really see them getting a lot of those clean sheets. I don't think they're good options for clean sheets. So I personally don't like Dan Burn. So one thing I would do or would suggest is downgrading Salah, because he costs 12.5. So you can downgrade Salah to someone like Saka at 10 million. And then you can upgrade Dan Burn with the remaining funds to someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then you've got a better combination right there. In my opinion, the combination of Saka and Trent is definitely going to get more points than the combination of Salah and Dan Burn, in my opinion, for those opening fixtures. So that's a change that I would make, because I just feel like, yeah, like I said, your team gets affected when you spend so much on Salah and Haaland together. So that's why I would make that change. And then remember, you still even got Szoboszlai there as well. So if Szoboszlai is going to be that starting number number 10, then he's giving you that Liverpool cover as well. So that's something I would do for sure. But other than that, the team's pretty solid. You've got Raya in goal. Now, I personally wouldn't spend 5.5 million on a goalkeeper. I think it's a bit too much. But nonetheless, like, Arsenal are the best defensive team in the league, hands down, last season. So if I was going to pick someone for 5.5, it definitely would be Raya. Hudson-Odoi on the bench gives you pretty decent rotational options, so I do like that, but you could also downgrade Hudson-Odoi and upgrade your starting 11 if you wanted to. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid squad. It is a pretty solid squad considering you've got Haaland and Salah in there. But like I said, man, I think the Saka-Trent route is a lot better for your overall team, and I feel like will bring you more FPL points. But let me know what you guys do think of KSI's first draft down below. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. All right, so moving on to team number 2, and this one was sent in by Musi on Instagram. He's playing a 3-5-2, and I'm not going to lie, it's looking like a pretty strong draft at the moment. Obviously, there is no Erling Haaland in there, but that's what no Erling Haaland allows you to do. It allows you to build a very nice, well-rounded squad. This is the first time I'm seeing Heung-min Son in a team, though, and I feel like even me, I'm a culprit of this. I feel like I'm sleeping on Heung-min Son now, though. I'm not going to lie, man, because Son is a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. Probably the most clinical finisher in the Premier League. This guy's conversion rate is off the charts. His conversion rate is absolutely incredible. But for some reason, I personally haven't really considered putting Son in my team, and I wonder if that's where I'm going wrong. I'm not really too sure, but the fixtures are okay for Tottenham. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. I mean, the first 5 games are pretty decent. They've got Leicester away from home, Everton at home, Newcastle away, a tough fixture, North London derby against Arsenal at home, and then Brentford at home. I mean, how many goals, how many assists, how many FPL returns do you see Son getting in these first 5 games? I'm not too sure, but Son, in my opinion, is a player that is fixture proof. I mean, he can score against literally anyone. You know, his record against Man City is incredible. He's got a good record against Arsenal as well. So yeah, man, I do like the Son pick. I really do, and I think this year a lot of people aren't really putting in Son because of the price rises of like Palmer, Saka, Foden. People are going for those within the 10 million price ranges, so no one's really looking at Son too much. But yeah, I do like the pick. I think he's definitely got potential as he is a proven goal scorer in this league. Obviously Watkins and Isak in the striker positions I like a lot. Alexander Isak, I'm not going to spend too long talking about him. You guys know my thoughts on him. Absolutely essential, and he's going to be my game week 1 captain, man. I'm saying it right here, right now. I'll be captaining Alexander Isak in game week 1. I think, he's got great fixtures, and he's a player that we know can score goals. So yeah, man, I like Isak, and Watkins is a great pick as well. The fixtures for Aston Villa are really, really good. Last season, Ollie Watkins was absolutely cooking, man. He was doing his thing last season, and there is potential there with Ollie Watkins for penalties as well. Douglas Luiz is gone. He's playing for Juventus now, so that frees up a space for Ollie Watkins to take penalties. Yes, I know his record isn't the greatest, but if he's going to be in that goal scoring form this season like he was last season, then I think he'll be confident enough to take those penalties, so that can make Ollie Watkins even better value. But yeah, as a whole, that midfield is really strong, man. I mean, Foden as well, Leon Bailey, Salah and Eze. It's a really, really good, powerful midfield, and I like it a lot. Obviously, he's got Foden in there because there's no Haaland, so he's got that Man City cover. Obviously, he's got the Liverpool cover with Mohamed Salah and Eze, who I think is a good pick as well. I mean, Crystal Palace under Oliver Glasner are looking really, really good from an attacking point of view. Eze's numbers really shot up under Oliver Glasner last season, so I think that's a great pick. And obviously he's on all set pieces, penalties, free kicks, corners. So yeah, top pick for 7 million, I think. Yeah, man, I really, really do like Eze as an option. Now he's got Leon Bailey in there, and I do like Leon Bailey as an option, of course, but I think because you got Watkins, you might want to get the Chelsea cover or Nottingham Forest cover. You've got no Nottingham Forest, and I think Nottingham Forest players should really be considered, man. Their fixtures are amazing, so I personally would take out Leon Bailey and go with someone like Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, Leon Bailey after the West Ham game will be playing against Arsenal, whereas Morgan Gibbs-White will be playing against Southampton away. So yeah, I think you're better off going for someone like Morgan Gibbs-White. And the defense is also pretty strong. I mean, he's got Munoz in there, he's got that attacking threat, and then Gavardia, who's a nice set and forget Man City defender. Now again, I told you guys my thoughts on Dan Burn when talking about KSI's team. So I definitely would get rid. And he's got Konsa on the bench as well. So what I would do is get rid of Konsa and get rid of Dan Burn and swap them for an Everton defender like Mikalenko and a Fulham defender like Robinson, because Everton and Fulham have a really good rotation. Like, as you guys can see from this graphic, you really do get some good favourable home fixtures where you'd expect to get some clean sheets in a few of these games. Yeah, so that's why I do like the Everton and Fulham rotation. You know, you got Brighton at home, and then Leicester at home, then Bournemouth at home, West Ham at home, Newcastle at home. So yeah, the rotations there from a defensive point of view are really good. So that's why I would definitely swap out Dan Burn and Konsa for someone like Mikalenko and Robinson, so you can rotate them and hopefully get those clean sheets in. Now you've got Robert Sanchez in goal, and I'm a little bit unsure of him at the moment. Obviously Chelsea have just made a new goalkeeper signing for 24 mil or around that price. So yeah, I'm a bit concerned now. I'm a bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know if Sanchez is going to be that starting goalkeeper for Chelsea. It's a bit risky, but obviously we'll see what happens in the build up towards the Premier League season. We'll see press conferences, we'll see interviews to get a better idea, but it definitely is a bit risky going with Sanchez now because he does have that potential to be dropped if he doesn't perform well. So what I would say, just keep an eye out on Chelsea in pre-season, and if you're looking for a different 4.5 million goalkeeper, I'd probably go for Miguel. That is Nottingham Forest's new signing. So yeah, Nottingham Forest also signed a new goalkeeper, Miguel, and it's looking like he's going to be the number one. So that's someone I would go for as a replacement for Robert Sanchez. But overall, it's definitely a solid draft. It's well rounded. I like it, man. I really do like it. So let's go and move on to the next one. All right, so this draft was sent in by Jax_1 on Instagram. Appreciate everyone, by the way, in this video sending me your teams. It helps me make these videos. So yeah, thank you guys for that one. But as you guys can see, he's gone big at the back. He's got Trent Alexander-Arnold in there. He's got William Saliba and Gvardiol. So yeah, that's probably the best defense you can get in this game right now. I'm not gonna lie. You've also got Barco on the bench, which I like a lot. Obviously, Estupinan is injured, so he's gonna miss the start of the season due to his surgery, which means Barco's most likely gonna come in that left wing back role. But I like it because he rotates well with William Saliba. In game weeks 4 and 5, when William Saliba is playing the likes of Man City away and Spurs away, yeah, Barco's got some very nice fixtures. In that time, he's got Ipswich at home in game weeks 4, and then in game weeks 5, he's got Nottingham Forest at home. So you could just bench Saliba, start Barco, which is very nice. So it's a good rotation there to have, because obviously you want to have an Arsenal defender in your team, because Arsenal are the best defense in the league at the moment. So if you can find someone that rotates well with your Arsenal defense so that you can bench them in their tough games and start them in their good games, then happy days, man. So yeah, man, I really do like that Barco pick because it allows you to bench Saliba in his tough in the tough fixtures that he does have. So moving on into the midfield, it's looking pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie, man. He's got Gordon, Hudson-Odoi, Eze, and Cole Palmer in there. I like Cole Palmer as a pick, man. I've said time and time again, he's most likely going to be in my game week 1 team, man. Regardless of Nkunku being 6.5, for me, it doesn't really affect my decision on putting in Cole Palmer. I've been seeing that quite a lot recently. It's like people feel like they can't have Palmer and Nkunku together in the same draft, when just because you've got Nkunku, it doesn't mean you shouldn't put in Palmer. At the end of the day, they're both completely on two different sides of the spectrum in terms of in terms of price points. You know, one's 6.5, one's 10.5. So within Palmer's price point at 10.5, you should just compare him to the other players that are around the similar price. And if you think that Palmer's the best option for that price range, then you put him in, regardless whether you've got Nkunku in your team already or not. If Palmer's the best at his price point, then you just simply put him in. And the same goes for Nkunku. If you think Nkunku's the best value player for 6.5, then you put him in, regardless if you've got Palmer in your team already or not. So that's all I'd have to say on that. I don't think it's either or. I think you should feel comfortable with having Palmer and Nkunku in your team, because I've just been seeing a lot of discourse on Twitter about that. So it's just something I wanted to say. But yeah, moving on anyway. Enough of that waffle. Yeah, Eze I think is a good pick as well. Like I said, man, his goal scoring form under Oliver Glasner was really good, and he's on all set pieces, penalties, corners, free kicks as well. So I do like that as a pick. And you've got Hudson-Odoi in there, and I actually do like it. I think it's a good pick. It's someone that I've got in my draft currently. The fixtures for Nottingham Forest are very good, like we discussed previously. So I think at the price of 5.5 million, you know, Hudson-Odoi could be a really good option to start the season with. It is pretty tough to decide who to go for between him and Elanga at 5.5, because they do cost the same. But I feel like I'm slightly leaning towards Hudson-Odoi, because last season he showed that, you know, he's the more clinical finisher out of the two, and he's got that bigger goal threat. So yeah, that's why I'm leaning towards Hudson-Odoi at the moment. But overall, yeah, it's a good pick definitely to start the season with. And then Anthony Gordon as well. I do like Newcastle's fixtures from an attacking point of view, so I do like Anthony Gordon. Last season he was absolutely cooking as well, so yeah, man, he really did perform well last season. So I do like Gordon as a pick. I think that's very, very good. And then the front three, Isak, Erling Haaland and João Pedro. Now, one player I do want to talk about is João Pedro. Regardless of the injury, if he's fit or not, I don't think he's a good option. Honestly, the more and more I think about it, I really don't like João Pedro. I know he's cheap, and I know he's, you know, 5.5. He's a penalty taker, playing for Brighton. But the fixtures to start the season just really aren't good enough in my opinion. As you guys can see, man, the fixtures really aren't great. He's got Everton away in the first game, who had a really, really good defense last season. They had the second most clean sheets after Arsenal in the league. So yeah, it's not really a fixture you'd want your attacker playing in. Away to Everton, it's a tough game. And then he's got Man United at home, Arsenal away. Yes, then after Arsenal away, he's got Ipswich and Nottingham Forest at home, which are very, very good fixtures. But then after that, it's Chelsea away, Spurs at home, Newcastle away. For me, I just don't think that the fixtures are worth it. I don't think the fixtures are great. So I'm personally not a fan of João Pedro, especially when you've got players at 6 million, like Rodrigo Muniz, like Chris Wood, that have really, really good fixtures. And these are players that can get you goals. They showed it last season. So that's why I'm not really a fan of João Pedro. I think he's, in my opinion, I'm going to say it, I think he's being overhyped, man. I know that he's 5.5 million. I know that he's on set pieces, he's on the penalties, but I think he's been overhyped, man. The fixtures really aren't great. So yeah, personally, what I would do, I can see you've got Rodgers on the bench, so I would downgrade Rodgers to a 4.5 and then upgrade João Pedro to a 6 million striker like Muniz or Chris Wood. That's personally what I would do, because I think Fulham and Nottingham Forest have really, really good fixtures. So yeah, that's personally what I would do. If you didn't want to get rid of Rodgers because you think he's good value, another alternative is to possibly downgrade one of the expensive defenders like Gvardiol or Trent. For example, if you downgraded Gvardiol or Saliba to two 4.5 defenders that can rotate well, then that would give you some extra funds to upgrade João Pedro to like a 6 million forward. So if you took out Gvardiol for, let's say, in the example like I gave before, Robinson and Mikalenko, if you take out Gvardiol for those two, that would leave you with enough money to upgrade to someone like Chris Wood or like Rodrigo Muniz. So that's definitely something I would consider, because in my opinion, I really don't like João Pedro as a pick. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on João Pedro down below in the comments. But that is going to be it for today's Rating Your FPL Drafts. I really do hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, make sure to smash the subscribe button as well. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.